Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Wednesday, July 8th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. With strong high pressure and control over Southern California, the marine layer is shallower than it has been in recent days, but still very much prevalent. There remains plenty of low clouds across Central Coast and the adjacent valleys, but there's much less cloud cover to the south, as that is where the high pressure is centered over. Clearing of these clouds should be relatively quick, and we should have plenty of sunshine today, along with very summer-like temperatures. After a couple weeks of very mundane weather, with below-average temperatures, we are back to our regularly scheduled summer, and will likely stay that way for quite a while. High pressure has taken control over the western U.S., and it will remain the prevalent weather feature as we move into the middle of the month. This high pressure will remain centered over Southern California through the rest of the work week, then shift northeastward towards the Four Corners region over the weekend. Models have come into better agreement that the high-pressure area will continue to shift northeastward and become centered over the Northern Rockies and Northern Plains region late this weekend. The high will become very expansive with California in its far western periphery. The high will probably wobble around the interior west a bit, but remain dominant through at least mid-next week. This will keep in place a very warm weather pattern, particularly for the interior, and it will also bring an influx of monsoonal moisture as we move closer to next week. Thanks to the high pressure centered overhead of us, temperatures across the region will remain around 5 to 10 degrees above seasonal averages through the rest of the work week. Highs in the 90s to around 105 will be common across the valleys and high desert, 80s will be common closer to the coast, and around 115 will be common for the low desert. So not too unbearable heat-wise, but definitely a lot warmer than we have been recently. Similar temperatures will be expected through the weekend and into early next week, especially across the interior. Though with the high pressure shifting farther east, temperatures south and west of the coastal slopes may cool down a bit with more of a marine influence. The marine layer will remain prevalent but quite shallow as high pressure remains in control. Low clouds and fog should be limited to the coastal plains and some lower valleys each day, with clearing occurring fairly early. Though with the high pressure shifting farther north and east this weekend, the marine layer may become a bit deeper with low clouds becoming a little more widespread into the coastal valleys. Through the weekend, humidity will remain very low away from the marine influence, with minimums commonly in the upper single digits to around 20% across the interior, driest for the deserts. With the increasing heat and dryness, more widespread poor overnight recoveries will be apparent for portions of the higher terrain. With the upcoming monsoonal surge late this weekend into early next week, humidity across the interior may begin to slowly increase, though the majority of the monsoonal moisture will remain in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. As we move into the weekend and early next week, the pattern will be much more conducive for monsoonal moisture to work its way into our region. The reason for this is because as the high pressure area moves farther northeast, the flow aloft over California will become southeasterly. This southeasterly flow is able to scoop up tropical moisture from the Gulf of California and Gulf of America and send it straight into Southern California. Due to this influx of moisture, scattered showers and thunderstorms will likely begin to develop over the region on Sunday, with activity likely continuing into early next week as the weather pattern persists. It remains possible that the entire region could be at risk for storm activity, though the eastern half of the GA is the most likely region of concern. Since this event is still 5+ days out, confidence in the details remains a bit uncertain. Storms will most likely be of the drier variety on Sunday during the onset of the monsoonal flow. Then the continuous moisture surge into next week may lead to wetter storms afterwards. Stay tuned to the forecast this week as we figure out those finer details. We will continue to see rapid drying trends in our fuel moistures as high pressure dominates, particularly for areas away from the marine influence. ERCs will be on strong rising trends as well, with much of the region exceeding the 80th percentile and some areas reaching the 90th percentile or greater by early next week. As a result, fire potential will continue to trend upwards. While lighter fuel types will be of the greatest concern, the heavier fuel types are becoming much more receptive now that we're getting into the heart of summer, thus increasing the potential for fires to burn actively across multiple burn periods. In addition, while there is still uncertainty, monsoonal thunderstorms could potentially produce numerous fire starts late this weekend into early next week, with the most likely chance on Sunday during the onset. The continuous moisture surge into next week may mitigate growth potential, though confidence remains fairly low at this time. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Thursday, July 9th. Have a fantastic day.